Hey guys, my name is Matthew, and today we're going to be giving an update on the house project, including some delays and some setbacks and what's been going on. Here you go. So I ended the last video I put out like a month ago, more than a month ago, saying that I was going to have some roofers come in and help out with the roof. I kind of decided that because the roof was, well, it's really high, it's like 30 feet in the air, it is really steep, and because it's kind of an unusual design, it is pretty steep on the sides and then the top is flat. And so I decided, even though I know a little bit about roofing, I feel like I could kind of figure it out. I decided to hire a company to come and do that. It was obviously more expensive to do it that way, but maybe worth that expense because of the safety concerns of being high in the sky, as well as the speed that a roofing team can come in and do stuff. I've seen roofers come in, scalp a roof, put on new shingles, and do it all in like a day. And that's pretty typical, actually, for what I've seen, is just roofers who move really, really quickly. I know for me, if I were to try and go up and do that, it would take weeks, and it would be raining. Of course, as soon as I took the roof off, it would start raining, even if it wasn't expected, and just decided that that was what I was gonna do. For the rest of this video, I'll just be interspersing some random B-roll, some stuff we've been working on, because I don't have a lot of project that not satisfying video to kind of show you, but I've got little bits of things so you can watch those while I talk about the problems that I've had with roofers. They've been incredibly surprising. I'd never expected that these were going to be the problems that I had. So to start with, I hired a roofing crew. They were literally supposed to show up the day after I made the last video. So I was like, oh yeah, they're for sure going to show up. They show up the next day at 8 a.m. and they show up. They bring in their garbage thing and they get up on the roof. And the crew that I hired decided that my roof was too scary for them. The slope of it was too much, and they decided, I actually don't want to do this project. They got off the roof and left. Mind you, this is after I've hired them already, signed a contract, sent them a sizable, literally half of the total cost as a deposit, and they decided that they didn't want to do it. So the roofing crew, they were looking for a different crew. They were going to contract out. They thought, oh, yeah, we'll get it by the end of today still. They're still going to get all that material off there today. And that didn't really happen. A couple days passed, and eventually I just asked, hey, can I just get out of this contract, look for a different crew, use somebody back for my deposit? And that is what happened. So I hired a different crew to come out here. I thought this was going to be the end of my roofing problems. And they thought this is a 3-day project. Just because of the size of the roof and the things we have to do, they thought, I've got to take all the shingles off. We're going to take all the shake off, which is like the old form of shingle from back in the day, and then replace it. That was 3 weeks ago. They were supposed to show up on a Wednesday, and they didn't show up until the next Wednesday. Again, I'd already hired them and signed a contract and sent a deposit, so it was like, oh, I'm stuck with this one, whatever. They show up the very next Wednesday, and mind you, some of this is weather issues, so it's not entirely this company's fault. It wasn't entirely the first company's fault either. My roof is just legitimately scary, which is why I didn't want to do it. I really don't blame them. I'm not upset about it, but it just seems crazy. The second crew came in 2 weeks ago on a Wednesday, and they have been working nearly every day since then on various things. I'm confident that they've got another roof or two going on as well, which is why they keep coming back and forth to this one, but they are not done yet, and it's been 2 full weeks on what was supposed to be a 3-day job. So that's where we're at right now. The roof is almost done. It's nearly there. There's not any water getting into my house, but it has been really incredible to watch these roofing crews and the setbacks that have been associated with it, and the way that weather has played into part. Temperature is obviously a big deal for shingles, but also they ran into way more shingles than they thought they were going to be. There are actually 4 layers of shingles, which current code says you can have 2 layers of shingles. And all that weight, 4 layers of shingles plus the shake underneath, it was about 15,000 pounds or more, and it was actually causing structural damage to my roof, which is why it had started to cave in. And so part of this project, part of what I hired them for, was to level out the roof, to provide some new support for the roof on the inside, kind of some structural joists and things like that. And so all of that took extra time. and then yeah, weather, like I said, with shingles, you've got to be under a certain temperature, over a certain temperature. I'm not exactly sure what it is, 60 degrees or something like that. Has to have prolonged of over 60 degrees Fahrenheit. And so we had a couple days where they couldn't do that, or it was wet, just too much dew, or too much, fog. And so it has been crazy. The roofing thing has taken me, I mean, literally more than a month now for what was supposed to be a 3-day job. And been really impressed by all of that, I guess. So we're still not quite done with the roof, but we're really, really close. I'll shoot you some shots of this as we go, just mostly pictures, because I didn't want to disrespect these guys too much and take a bunch of video of them. But yeah, so I appreciate the work they've done. They've done a really good job. The roof being finished actually does a lot to make this property look better, because before I had a couple different colors of shingles on there, and it was, like I said, kind of concave in some spots. The roof was definitely holding some water in some places it shouldn't, and so now no water is getting to the house. It's a really great place where now we can start doing some of the other work. As far as other updates for the house, I've also had some delays trying to get electrical and plumbing and HVAC stuff going because of permit and the permit process here in this municipality. It has been a little bit frustrating going into the office one day, talking to one person, and they say, this is the way it is, this is what you have to do to get your permit, and then walking in the very next day to do what I just heard that person do. The second person says, no, it's not like that, you've got to do it differently, you have to, yeah, it's been a pain. That slows everything up as well, and that is what I expected to have problems about. So I'm not surprised about those problems, but that has also been frustrating. But the plan moving forward is this Thursday, we're meant to get HVAC in here, which is really exciting. We're gonna actually have a brand new furnace in this area, so we're gonna be moving forward with that. I've actually already got water turned on, which is really exciting. And then lastly, we need some electrical, and that will be kind of the last step. So we're gonna replace the bay out there, kind of the meter and where the meter clicks into all needs to be replaced. We're gonna hire an electrician for that. And then next week we might talk about what it looks like to actually run electricity. So we'll maybe just walk you through kind of those steps and roughly what that looks like in the United States, what it looks like to actually run electricity generally. This isn't like a how-to guide, but this is just a, kind of an overview. Thanks for sticking with me, guys. We're gonna keep this project going, and barring any more major delays, hopefully we'll be ready to move into this place, eventually. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.